Hi everyone, very good morning and good evening. So we'll start the session, guys. Let me share my screen. So in last session, what we have done, so we have discussed about how to work with a zero copy cloning, right? So today, what we are going to do is we'll discuss about data masking in Snowflake. When it is coming to data masking, right? So first we have to understand what is the purpose of data masking. Then, if you wanted to perform data masking policies, we used to call it as a data masking policy. Then we need to understand the role-based access control. So we should understand role-based access control, roles, and then users, how these roles will be created, how the users will be assigned to the specific role, how we are going to give the grant permission. Those are the things we will see that. So first of all, let's understand what is masking. So here, data masking means any kind of personal identifiable information, PII information. In short form, we used to call it as a personal identifiable information. We don't want to display this data to all the users like developers, testers, and then analysts. I wouldn't want to display it everyone. We wanted to display this only for business users. Only for them I wanted to give the access. For remaining, if they try to access, it has to be hidden. So it means it has to be masked with some other values. Let's say here, if I see the data from employee table, what we can see here in the employee information, we can able to understand employee salary, employee's age, employee belongs to which location. But here remaining all information that is fine to display, but I wanted to hide this. I mean, not hiding, we can say that we can mask this. I don't wanted to display this information to every person in an organization who is having the access to this particular data. I wanted to hide this. I wanted to mask this. So this particular thing, whenever it is coming to this we will call it as a data masking. When it is coming to the data masking, right, remember this is related to column level. Column level we are going to perform data masking policy. Row level, we will call it as a row level security feature, that it is not a masking policy, but when it is coming to the column level, so this we are going to apply the masking policy. Now any kind of specific information like personal identifiable information, we are going to apply a masking policy. This particular thing we will call it as dynamic masking. Also dynamic masking policy, don't get confused. Masking policy or dynamic masking policy, both are similar, both are same. Now here, if you want to understand what exactly like a PII information, let's say, let me open this, then we will understand. Okay, let me zoom this. So okay, see this one. What are the information we are having? Like person biometric information, person name, person account number, address, vehicle number, date, birth date, right? Email, mobile, fax information, website, face recognition, social security numbers, Aadhaar card, PAN card numbers, like these kind of informations. When you are having this information in our table, this information, based on this, we can identify a person. That's the reason we will call this as personal identifiable information. When you have this information in our tables, we wanted to hide this. I mean, we wanted to mask this. It's not hiding. Hiding means completely removing the column. We wanted to mask this. It should not be displayed to the specific user. In that particular situation, the data masking will come into the picture. If you want to mask data, first there is two steps we need to perform. First step is we need to create masking policy based on role. We will come to that, what exactly the role is. Second thing is, once the policy is created based on the role specific, we need to apply this masking policy to column in a table. Not only for the table, we can apply it for a view also. It can be applied for table or view. First, what is the first step? We need to create a masking policy. Then second step is we need to apply this masking policy to the column in a table. Now here, when you observe this, first step is we need to create a policy based on the role specific. So here we need to understand what are the roles. So Snowflake, we can able to create it, and how these roles will be created. Based on the role, how we can able to create a masking policy. Before that, we need to understand role-based access control. Based on the role specific, we are going to control the access. That we will call it as a role-based access control. We are controlling the access of our Snowflake based on role specific. Role based we are controlling. For example, here, when you observe this here, these are the default roles Snowflake has created by default. Account admin, org admin, public, security admin, system admin, user admin. These are the different roles by default the Snowflake is created for us when you created a trial account. But when you are working in a project, you may not see all these roles. For example, you are working as a developer, see only the customized role called developer. You are working as a tester, you may have access to only the tester role. You are a admin, you may have access to admin role only. You cannot able to access all the roles. That is not possible. Okay. And at the same time, just a minute. Okay. So here, when it is coming to this, right, we will have customized roles. These are the default roles. It will be available, but it won't be assigned to you. When you joined in organization, when you joined in any Snowflake project, based on your work, based on your role, what you are going to perform, based on that, your admin is going to assign the role to you. Once they assign the role, then you will have only the access for which the databases, which schemas you have a grant permissions. Every developer, let's assume every person, every user, for example, we are all working under a project. Let's assume every person is a one user. Some 5 members are working as a developers, 3 members are working as a testers, one person is working as a admin, and then remaining like 3 persons working as a business users. Let's assume that. Then every person will act as a different roles, right? They have a different role to perform. Based on the role, you will have access to the specific databases. You may not have access to all the databases. You may not have access to all the objects. That particular role, what all the grant permissions that role is having, only those roles only you will have a permission. Other roles you cannot able to have a permission. So for example, here, these are the default roles. These are the default roles. By default, Snowflake will be created. We won't use these roles. If you wanted to understand what is these roles and what exactly these roles is going to do, if you come to admin here in the home page, you can see this one, users and roles. Users and roles, you can able to see it here. Now when it is coming to the role, see this, when I click on a role, I can able to see this one. These are the default roles which it is available. See this, account admin, org admin, public, security admin, system admin, user admin. If you wanted to see that, see this, you can able to see. So how this role is associated, what is the super user role, what all this role can be able to do. See this one, administrator can manage all the aspects of the account. He will have the complete rights. See this security admin. Security admin, what he can do? He can manage the security aspects of the account, only the related to security permissions, giving the permission, access rights, and all those things, granting the roles and all those things. See this system admin can able to create manage databases by using a system admin, right? So like that, we will have a user admin public. See this one, automatically available for every user in a account. When you create a user, by default public role will be created for all the users, right? Like this you will have a different roles, it will be available, but it won't be assigned these roles to you. Roles will be assigned customized roles to us based on our requirement. So based on our project specific, you will have a customized roles. For example, here, to implement this, what we will do is we will make a practice of creating some roles here. Let's say we will create some three different roles here. See this one, when you are creating a role, I'm in account admin. And one more thing, if you wanted to create a role, you have to be in account admin or security admin, then only you can able to do that. So other roles, it is not possible to create it. Now I am in account admin role. I am trying to create a three different roles. One is developer, another one is business, another one is analyst or tester. You can take it anything. So we have a three different, we are trying to create three different roles. Every role, for example, in a project I may have multiple developers. In a project, I may have multiple business users. In a project, I may have multiple analysts, right? This first we need to create a role. Observe this. We are creating a role. The role is created. Now, once the role is created, this role has to be assigned to the specific user. It means when I logged into this particular account, I logged in with the Snowflake 8 user, right? That user should have access to access these roles. Then only the user can able to see these roles here. Now observe this one. The role is created, but I cannot able to see those roles here, right? First, what we are going to do, once a role is created, we are going to assign these roles to the user. Which user can able to see these roles? Which user can able to access these roles? We need to assign. For that, what we are going to do is we are going to assign these roles to users with the grant permissions. See this one, grant role business. This is the role name. To the user, what is the username here? Snowflake 8 is my user, which I use to log in, right? This is my user. Snowflake 8 is my user. Now I have given this user details. Now for all the roles, it means Snowflake 8 user can able to access developer role, analyst role, business role. There is a possibility, right? Same person can able to work as a admin, same person can able to work as a developer, same person can able to work as a tester also, and business also. It's possible. Same way, we are assigning same user to multiple roles. This user, when they come to the role, they will work as that particular role. They can able to work as with that particular role. They wanted to work as a developer, then they will use developer role. They wanted to work as an analyst, then they will go to analyst role. Like that, we are creating three different roles we created. These three roles we are assigning to the specific user. Now I assign to the specific user. Now here I'm assigning to so everything to my Snowflake 8 user. So but normally what will happen, developer role will be assigned to only the developers. The analyst role will be assigned to only for the analyst. Business role will be assigned to only for the business people, right? Now we have assigned. Now let's observe. Once it is assigned, let me refresh it here. Just a minute. Now Let's observe. See this. Now the Snowflake 8 user can able to access analyst, business, developer. Now what is the role now currently accessing account admin role, right? Account admin role by default have permission to all the objects, right? All the databases, virtual warehouse and everything. Now let me change the user. See this one. Let me change this Snowflake 8 user role to developer role. See this. I am clicking on a developer role. Now which role it is assigned here in the worksheet? Developer role. Observe this. What it is telling. There is no warehouse assigned to the developer role. See this here, the left hand side. We don't have any databases to assign to this particular developer role. No permissions, right? The developer role is not having any access, right? Because we didn't given any grant permission for this particular developer. Just we created a role. We assign the role to the user. That's it. But we if this role has to access any of the objects, any of the databases, we need to give the grant permission to those objects. So warehouse access, database access, schema access, objects access. We have to give the grant permissions. Now let's observe this. When you wanted to give, let me give the grant permissions here. See this. For all the three roles, we will try to give the grant permissions. Grant usage on warehouse, compute warehouse to the role business. It means when user is logged in with a business user, this user can able to access this compute warehouse for the computation. For that we are giving the grant usage permission on a warehouse for all the roles. Now if I try to access, if I try to give the things with the developer role, see this, developer will not have capability to give the grant permissions. We need to change, see this, right? We need to change to the account admin. Now we changed the role to the account admin. Now let's try to give the access, warehouse access. See this. Now we can give warehouse access, virtual warehouse, that is nothing but a computation access to this particular roles. It means when I logged in with this particular role, they can able to utilize this warehouse. The same way, I need to give it for a database. Within the database, I need to give it for a schema, right? Now observe this one. So grant usage on database. Let me change this according to our database. Here grant usage on database. This is class 8 class database, right? So this is our database. To the role, what we are going to do, to the role business analyst developer. Now for all these roles, we are giving grant permissions to the database class database. We given the database permission. Within the database, we will have a number of schemas. Which schema we need to give permission, right? For that, again, grant usage on schema level. So the schema is public here, which we wanted to access it. The public I will give public schema. Schema name is public. Now we are giving access business analyst developer. See this? Now we given the access to the schema. Within this schema, we have tables, a number of tables, right? See this. We have a tables, we have a stages, file format, streams and tasks and everything it is available, right? If you wanted to do it, then what you need to do, again, you need to give grant permission to the specific object. Otherwise, now see this one, I will change the role, use role. This is other way to change the role, use role developer. If I execute this command, role will be changed to developer. Now instead of that, we can do like this also. If I select it, it will be changed to developer role. Now see this, use role developer. Use. Now observe this one. Now the role has been changed to developer. See this, developer can able to access the virtual warehouse. Developer can able to access database. He can able to access schema. But within the schema, you have objects, right? which object you wanted to use, that we don't given the permission, right? For the specific table I wanted to give the grant permissions. Now what we will do is, let me create a table. For that particular table we wanted to give the grant permissions. For this particular scenario, what we will do is, we will create a specific table with requirement of employee tables and then details. Now let me create this table. We are creating a table here. This is the table which employees information table which we are created the table, and we are going to insert the data into the table. Now this is account admin role, right? Now if you see, select star from this table, see this, we can able to see the data, right, with account admin. Now let's change the role to analyst or developer or business, anything. If I try to access this, observe what will happen. See this, table does not exist, or it is telling it is not authorized. It is not authorized, or it is telling it is not exist. So because table is exist, we know that, but there is no authorization because the table is not having access for the analyst role, right? Now to give the access, what you are going to do is change the role to account admin. Now we are going to give grant select permissions on this particular table for the specific roles. For that we will give grant select permissions here. See this, here we are giving grant select permissions on table name to the role analyst. For example, if I give select, only this role can able to select the data. I want insert, delete, update permissions. Then what you can do is grant select comma insert comma update. We can give like that. I don't want to give every all the permissions. Then you can use, instead of that, you can use grant all. If you use grant all on table, then this particular user may have all the permissions on this particular table to select, to drop, to insert, to update, to delete, all the permissions. This role will get the permission. But here what we are doing, as per the requirement, we are giving just select permissions on a table we have given, right? The same way, now the table is available, we have given the permission. For example, for this particular role, maybe in the future I may create daily, I will create a different tables for my requirement. Did I need to give every time the grant select permissions on the specific table for the specific user? Instead of that, in those scenarios, right, we can use grant future access, grant future. We can give grant future on, like a select, grant future select on table, grant future insert on table. So here, before select, we will give grant future. Whatever the future permissions will give, it means for that particular, when you are working with this role, for any future tables if you are creating, then you will get all the permissions for the, no need to give specifically, no need to do it. Now here what we are going to do is, we have given grant select permissions. See this, we have a grant select. So if you wanted to see this one here, grant select on all tables within that schema, the public. If you wanted to revoke access, when you are practicing, right, you can follow this document, you will get so one clear idea what all the things we can able to do. So if I wanted to, here we are doing customized roles, right? I don't wanted to do it for every table, every schema. So then we can assign the role, whatever the role we are going to assign, we can assign to the security admin, we can assign to the system admin. Then they will have all the permissions on that particular schema or access, instead of giving one by one. But most of the time what will happen is, it will be customized roles. So it is going to be customized roles. Now see this, what we have done, we given the grant permissions, select permissions on this particular table for this particular role, right? Now let me change the role use role developer. I am using the developer role. Now this is a developer role. Now let me select, say this developer. Now we are in a developer role, right? The user is with a developer role. Developer can able to see salary information, employee's ID, employee salary information, employee department, which department this employee belongs to. Same way, I will use role business. Now I am using business role. See this, the same user now logged in with a business business role. Now business role, if they try to access the data with the business role also can able to see salary department. Now let me change the role to analyst. I am giving analyst. Now I have given the analyst role. Now observe this. Now we are in an analyst role. Now let's check the data here. Analyst also can able to see the data in the table, right? But this is not the case, right? Based on the role specific, I wanted to salary has to be hidden, salary has to be masked. I don't want to display this salary column to developer. I don't want to display this salary column to the analyst. I wanted to display this salary column only to the business user. That is my requirement. The same way, the department details is there. Department details, I wanted to display these values to only for the analyst. I don't wanted to display these department details to business developer. I wanted to hide, right? Sorry, I wanted to mask this. In this particular situation, our data masking will come into the picture. Now what we have done till now, just we created three different roles. One is business, developer, and then analyst. Once we created these three different roles, after that what we have done, we given the grant permissions for the computation, and we given the grant permissions for the database schema access, and then within that schema we given the grant permission to the object, right? Then only this role, whatever the role we created, these are the customized roles, right? These roles can able to access the specific databases, specific schema, and then specific object. Now they can able to see that. But what is the problem here? Every role can able to see the values here, but it should not be. I wanted to like salary information has to be masked. Department information has to be masked based on the requirement. Then what you are going to do is we need to create a masking policy. Now see this. Now we can understand why we are telling that we need to create a masking policy based on the role specific. We are going to mask based on the role only, right? That's why we need to create a policy based on the role specific. The roles is available now. Three different roles is available. Based on the role, we are going to create policy. Now let's see. I wanted to create policy for only business, and then account admin can see the value, actual value. Developer, analyst, I wanted to mask. I don't want to display the value, actual value of the salary column. Now here, when you are creating masking policy, right? Here we can able to create masking policy for number masking policy separately, string masking policy separately, date masking policy separately. These are the three different masking policies we can create it. We cannot apply number masking policy for the string column. We cannot apply string masking policy for the number column. We cannot apply string masking policy for the date column. We have to separate it. Individually, we need to create 3 different masking. We will see that. So why it will not allow, we will understand. But remember that we need to create 3 separate policies based on the requirement. If you wanted to mask numbers, if you wanted to mask strings, if you wanted to mask date column, we can create it separately. One masking policy can able to apply for multiple columns and n number of tables. There is no limitation. Once you created a policy, no need to create a policy for every column. Same policy, if it is a number policy, I can apply for the any of the number columns in the same table or different table. Only one time you can create masking policy. Same policy you can apply it n number of times. Now observe how we are going to create masking policy. What is the syntax here? Then we will understand. Let me come here. See this. What we are going to do is we are creating number policy here. Now when we are creating a policy, again you have to be in a security admin role or account admin role. Then only it will allow you to do it. So otherwise it will not be done by every role. Okay, basically, so in the project, so these things whatever we are doing today, these things will be assigned to specific admin activities or specific any senior person who is like having the complete knowledge on the accounts. They are going to give the access to them. They will work on it. Everyone will not get a chance to work on these things, but we should know what is happening in the backend. Now observe this. When I am creating policy, this is the syntax for the policy. Creating masking policy, masking name. This is the name. You can give any name here. As observe this one, value, number. This value, that is nothing but this column value, number. Returns, it is going to return the number. If the value, the column value, number, it is going to return the number. When it is going to return the number, this is a like equal statement, guys. In the like time travel also we saw this symbol double equal to greater than, here single equal to greater than. Here case statement, observe this case statement. In the case statement, what we are giving, when your current role means nothing but what is the role it is assigned here. This worksheet account admin is the role here. If you wanted to see this, select current role, select current role, you will get, see this, what is the current role, account admin. Now if this role is developer, then here you will get developer role. Current role is which it is assigned to this worksheet, that is the current role. Current role in business role or account admin, then only display the value, actual value. Else you have to display nines, all the nines it has to be displayed. When you are giving number here, don't give strings here, it won't work properly, it will throw error. So that's the reason for numbers we need to create separately, for strings we need to create separately. When you are returning the number, here you need to give in the condition of the else condition, you have to give in the form of numbers only. Now what it is going to do is we are creating policy with this name. This policy what it is going to do is it will check what is your current role. If it is equal to business or account admin, then it will display the value, else it is going to display the nines. Like that we are creating masking policy. Now we created a policy. Just we created a policy, that's it. We didn't apply this policy to any column in a table. Just we created policy. Now we want, what is the next step? First step is done, right? We created a policy based on the role specific. What are the roles we have given a policy? Business account admin has to get the value. Other roles has to get this value. That is a policy we created. Now next step is this created policy we need to apply to column in a table. For which column we wanted to apply this policy in this particular table. In this particular table, I wanted to apply this policy for salary column, right? For that, what we need to do is we need to give the command called alter table if exist table name. This is the syntax to applying the masking policy. See this, alter table if exist. What is the table name? This is the table name. Modify column. Which column we wanted to apply? Salary column. Salary column I wanted to apply. Set masking policy. What is the policy name? This is the policy name. Here the meaning is this policy we are applying to salary column in this particular table. That's the meaning of this statement. Policy we are setting to the salary column in this particular table. Now let's execute this statement. Now this policy is applied for this particular salary column for the employee table. Now what it is going to do, this has been applied. Now what is the role here? Account admin. Now when I try to execute the data, select star from table, what it is going to do? It is going to check what is the current role. Account admin is the current role. See this? Now account admin can able to see the value. Because account admin is the current role, what he can able to get? Value he can able to get it. Now let's change the role to business. Business. Now what is the current role? Business is the current role. What he will get? He will get the value, right? Now let's execute the select statement again. See this, business. Business also can able to see. Now come to the developer or analyst. Now we are in an analyst role. Now let's execute this. What you observed? What analyst can able to see? Analyst can see all the nines. Is this the actual value? No, right? This is not actual value. This is masked value, right? The same way, let me change it to the developer role. Now we are in a developer role. See this developer role. Now for the developer role also, let's execute. Developer can able to see. No, right? Developer can able to see. Here for the practice purpose, I assigned all the roles to the my user only. But in the like project, what will happen based on the role specific, what is the role you are performing, based on that you will have a different accesses. Now see this one, developer value, he cannot able to see the actual value, he can able to see the masked value, right? This is for the like we applied policy. Now once you created this, you going forward, I wanted to apply this policy for any other table. Yes, you can apply it. I wanted to apply it for multiple columns. Yes, you can able to apply. I wanted to apply the same policy for manager ID also. We can able to apply. Once you created, this is the statement we wanted to give to apply the masking policy for n. Once you created policy, you can apply this policy for n number of tables, n number of columns. There is no limitation. Okay. Now this is for the number policy, right? Let's come. We wanted to apply the policy for this string department column also. Then we need to create a separate masking policy. This is a strings, right? So we need to create separate masking policy for the strings. Let's observe this one. What we will do is we are going to create masking policy for the strings. Say this, create string masking policy, right? Value string. What is the return value? String. Say this string, and then observe we are giving the stars, right? We should not give number here. If you give number here, then it will throw error. Now observe the condition of the case statement. What we are giving, when your current role in business, developer, account admin, then only you can see the value. Who cannot able to see? Analyst cannot able to see. Now, if I try to create it, this masking policy with, see this, what is the role? Developer. Developer can able to create a masking policy? No, right? See this? He don't have permissions because of access control. There are no privileges, right? So let's change the role to account admin. Now let's execute it. See this? Now what happened? This with the account admin role, we created another masking policy, right? This is related to string policy. We created it. Now this policy we created. Once we created, we have to apply this policy also, right? For which column I wanted to apply? I wanted to apply this for department column. So what is the column name here? Department column. Set masking policy. What is the masking name here? This is the masking name. Masking strings. Sorry. Masking strings. See this? Table. If exist, table name. Modify column. What is the column? Department column. For the department column, we are trying to apply it, right? So now let's observe this one. What is going to be happen when you are applying this? We are applied. Now whom we didn't given a permission? Analyst. We'll see that account admin. Now account admin. Now let's execute the data. See this data now. What you can see? Account admin can able to see. Business. I will come to the analyst later. Now it is a business. Business also can see. Now let's come to developer. Developer also we given a permission. Developer also can able to see that, right? Now let's come to the analyst. We didn't given the permission for the analyst, right? Now let's execute it. See this analyst trying to access the data. See this analyst, this role, analyst role, who is assigned this role, which users has been assigned this role. They cannot able to see, they cannot able to like see the actual value of department column. They cannot able to see the actual value of salary column. It is not possible, right? See this one. Now once your masking policy is created, if you wanted to modify, if you want to recreate a masking policy, it is not possible. You need to first you need to unset it, then you need to recreate it. Otherwise, if already, remember this one, if already policy, whatever the policy you are trying to recreate, you are trying to modify, that particular policy, if already it is applied for any of the column, you cannot able to recreate it. It means policy is in a use. You are trying to change that policy. For example, see this one. I will do what I will do is just for example, I will remove this and I will try to recreate this. See this one. I am trying to recreate again, create or replace. I am trying to recreate it. What happened now? Okay, let me change it to the account admin role. Now I am in account admin. Now let me do it one more time. See this, what it is telling. Masking policy cannot be dropped, cannot be replaced because it is associated with one or more entities. It means the policy, whatever the policy you are trying to drop, you are trying to recreate it. It is already applied for a specific columns, for the specific tables. That's the reason when it is utilizing, that is in a use, right? When that policy is in a use, you cannot able to create it. You cannot able to recreate it. That is the error we are getting it. So in this particular situation, what we need to do is we need to unset it. We need to recreate it again. So that we will see that in a coming session. See, still we have how to recreate a masking policy, how to alter masking policy, how we can able to apply this policy for views, the I mean masking policy for date column, we will see that. And at the same time, partial masking policy we will see. Once we complete these policies like different things, then we will jump to the row level security implementation. After that, we will see the managed access schema. These are all belongs to the security permissions within this Snowflake, the role based access control. And then with the help of role based access control, we can like grant, we can manage the roles, and then we can manage the users with the help of data masking. So we are going to control the access for the specific columns. Same way for the row level security, we can control the row access to the specific users or specific roles. All these things we will see in the coming session. So today what we discussed, we did just discuss about the roles creation, and then how to assign this role to the specific user, grant permissions. Then we created simple two policies. One is number policy, one is string policy, and we applied this policy to the specific column in a table, so that we can able to see like how this is the behavior of the masking policy for the specific column. Once it is masked, we cannot able to see the actual value. So in the next session, we will see the remaining, the pending things, how to alter it, how to modify it, how to create it for the partial masking. All these things we will see that. So let's come to the questions here in this particular session. I will go one by one. Yeah, user is assigned to a role is assigned to the grant on a table, all the users who have access to the role. Yes, exactly. So it's all based on the role. It's a grouping. Role is nothing but a grouping, right? All the permissions will be assigned to the roles, Kalyani. These roles will be assigned to a number of users. You are correct. It's not predefined, Kalyani. Generally what we'll have is, so these are the customized roles. So based generally, in general terminology, we will have a developer role, we will have a tester role, we will have a admin role, we will have a business role, and then we will have customized production role. Based on the your project requirement, you will have a different predefined, the roles will be created. These we will call it as a customized roles. Customized roles will be created. We won't use already existing roles, like whichever these are the predefined roles by the Snowflake: account admin, org admin, public, security admin, system admin. These are the already available existing roles, but we won't use these roles. Okay, but most of the time we will use customized roles only.
Hi,
Yes,
Dinesh.
able to do
Can I
it.
ask a question?
Unmasking also possible. Yes, coming to that, we can unmask that possible. That is, we will see that in the coming session, Ankit. We will go with that. We will see. Yes, Ram, please.
See, coming to the real masking part, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what we created, we created a role and then
Mm,
policy
mm,
and masking policy we applied particularly.
mm.
And when we
Correct.
query data according to that policy, it is replicated. I understand
Mm,
that. Okay.
mm,
My
mm,
question is there is SSN. Okay.
mm-hmm,
Whoever they may be, they query. Okay.
mm,
Apart from the business users, apart from anybody else, apart from the administrator, I would say, okay,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
last four digits should be
mm,
show junk value kind of XXX or
mm-hmm,
wrong
mm,
number, not a original name. And
mm,
also, first name, last name should be
mm,
replaced with the different names. Is it possible like
mm.
that?
Yeah, that is possible. So that is related to, so we are going to discuss about this. That is related to partial masking policy. We can able to
Mm.
do that with the help of regular expression. We can able to create partial masking policies. That is possible. We can do that based on the requirement. Like if you see, like not only like SSN account numbers, credit card numbers, whatever it may be, first and last
Right.
has to be hidden. Like in between, it has to be visible, right? Like that, we can able to do that.
And
Yes,
also
such possibility is there.
continuously, yeah. And
Mm,
also another thing, when we have a primary key and foreign key, okay,
mm, mm,
when you do data mask, right, it's going to be a cascade effect. Your application will be conflict and is not going to work.
correct. Mm,
So,
mm.
I'm a masking specialist. I use a tool called Delphix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wrote so many algorithms like this, so that's what I'm
Okay.
asking that
Okay,
question.
got it. Got it. I'm not aware of this Delphix, maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but actually, what will happen is when you are working with the real time, so generally, we based on like as we discussed, personal identifiable information. Mostly, we are going to apply for this only these columns only, not for
Mm,
the general like primary key and foreign key kind of columns. If you applied it, then so going forward, it will be like difficult. So for the
exactly.
mapping, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll learn more. Yeah.
Yeah. We will see that in the next two sessions. Is there any DMB to view all masking columns? Yes, we can able to see that, Mohan. I will show you. So just it's like a information schema masking reference. So there is a table called information schema masking reference. That we will show that. I will show you that one. I'm a developer user and updated masked salary column with updated permissions. What happened to unmasked users? I'm a developer user. Okay. Updated master salary column. Yeah. See, the reason behind why we will call this as a dynamic policy is, suppose I understand your question, Mohan. Let's say we created a policy for the salary column here, right? So your question is, let's say I have inserted some more values to this particular like a salary column maybe tomorrow, or I have updated one column, whatever it may be, or I inserted some columns, some rows to this particular table. Policy will be automatically, it will be applied for those columns even though if your new values is also coming into the table. That's the reason we will call this as a dynamic masking policy. Once it is applied, you no need to do it every time when the data is inserting, when the data is updating. So it will be automatically, it will be applied on those one.
Sir, I have one doubt. If
Yes,
we
Vikram.
create a masking policy on a specific column, then can we use
Hmm.
this column in joint condition?
Yeah, we can use it. That's not a big deal. You can use it. Just based on the role, you cannot able to see the actual value, but we can use for the regular conditions and all those things. That is possible.
In the projects, generally we define masking policy on a table,
Mm,
table
mm,
level, or is it like on
mm.
whole database you define and group it?
Got it. So no, it's not like on the whole database. Generally, it will be on a table level or view level. It may be not required for every table, right? Wherever we are having like this kind of information related to the sales amount in form of dollars, and then wherever we have only specific tables only will have your credit card number, account details, and then personal details, right? Not every table. Wherever it is required, only those tables only we will do it, not on the complete database level.
Because if we want to
Mm, mm,
update the policy, right, wherever
mm.
it is applied, you told you we need to revoke
Exactly.
this and do that
Mm,
again,
mm.
right? For example, if
No,
we
no,
have
got
15
it.
tables,
I
then how
understand.
does this apply?
I understand your question. So, for example, let's say that we are going to see that practically in next session. Let's assume that you have around 15 tables. You have applied a policy. Now, all the 15 tables, if you wanted to modify it, then one scenario is you are going to unmask it. You are going to recreate it. Then again, you are going to apply it. Other way, We have an option of alter masking policy. When you alter it, right, whatever the condition you are going to specify to that policy, all the 15 wherever you have applied this policy, let's say this is impacting on 15 tables or 15 columns, everywhere whatever the new changes you are going to do, it will be automatically, it will be applicable for those things. You no need to do separately one by one. That I will show you practically in the coming session. We will see that.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Sir, do we have class tomorrow?
Yeah. No, Saturday, Sundays we don't have Vikram. Only Monday to Friday. Yeah. Okay, guys. Happy weekend. Thank you. See you on Monday.